Hey there, YouTube. We're going to talk about reviewing guns. Some interesting things to talk about for sure. So, I did put up a video a few days ago about how I'd overcommitted, essentially. Essentially, what I've done is I have too many guns to review. Um, Not to go over the whole list, but there's like a half dozen handguns, a couple of rifles that I'm sitting on. Now, I like to review the gun while I'm just take it out, I shoot it some, I train with it some. If it's appropriate, I work it in. I start teaching classes with that gun. I get a belt rig that fits it and really put some time into it so I get a really good sense of like what I think of the gun and I get very, very comfortable with the gun. So it's like I'd say I get a very fair look at it because it takes me some time to get to where it's like I feel like I get a sense of how good how good the gun and me together can kind of can kind of make things happen. And it does take some time to figure that out. I can get a sense of what I think, like a very quick first impression, but it takes some time to really know for sure like what I feel like the capability is going to be over time with that gun. Anyway, I put up a video complaining about effectively just complaining about choices I made, where it's like, "Oh, I have bought too many guns. Like, this is a problem." And the audience responded. Now, I was a little bit surprised with the reaction from you guys. And the reaction was, "We want you to review the M&P." Let's go down the top comments on that video. M&P is killing it with their handguns. SIG is literally killing it. All right, M&P first, in my opinion. It's something people can easily get and use versus a $5,000 2011. Yep, okay. M&P gang is clear. We want the review and we want it now. 250 likes on that comment. M&P is good with me. I want to tell you how much I appreciate somebody who posts videos where everything isn't backwards on the screen. Thanks. M&P gang checking in. M&P priority, please. M&P, that's my vote. M&P, because nobody mentioned it already. Smiley face. Yeah. All right. I'm really surprised how many people want the M&P, in a sense. And then I sat and I thought about it. And it's like, well, of the guns that I mentioned, such as the Atlas pistols, the Staccato HD, the Canic, the TTI Canic, that is, the SIG 365, and so on. The one that's most interesting to me is the M&P as well. Why? Well, it's a full-size plastic service pistol, so kind of broad, like a broad sort of swath of people could use it. So it's interesting in that way. And I think not that many people use the gun, quite frankly. Like, I mean, for one, my impression is that the gun's pretty good, and that not that many people use it or know that much about it. I mean, some people shoot M&Ps, but most of that space is taken up with Glocks, some Walthers. There's a lot of Sig bros right now trying to figure out what to shoot, but I have to say, for me personally, the M&P is also the most interesting of those guns. The way my schedule lays out, though, is like I'll shoot the guns when I don't go out and shoot just for reviews. That's not how it works. It's like I'll be on a range already doing something or teaching, or I'm already gonna go and train, and I'll just train with that gun. I don't I don't just go like shoot just for the purpose of YouTube reviews. It doesn't quite work that way. Okay, that that out of the way. Let's go to some of your other comments about the review process because I thought that was kind of fun to talk about. All right. I feel like others might agree with me, but possibly do reviews based on price range. Focus on something most people can afford and work your way up to the Atlas stuff. Like, yes, of course, the talking about the Atlas stuff, it's not a super broad appeal. The way it works for me is I'm going to be shooting those anyway, so I might as well talk about it on here. I know that not that many people are that interested, to be honest. All right. I would like if you focused on the most niche, unobtainable gun first, just to be mean to the M&P fanboys. People mock the Glock fanboys. People mock the SIG fanboys, but not enough people mock the M&P fanboys. Godspeed on a review of anything but the M&P. Great comment there. Let's have some fun with the M&P people. I feel like there's not as big of a clique around those guns. There's some people like that, but there's just not as many. All right, let's take the next comment. Doesn't matter which ones you review. The insights are interesting, but the gear isn't why I'm here. I have changed a few things on my Glocks based on your recommendations, but shoot the ones that are interesting to you. And most people watch because you're entertaining. Thanks for the videos. Well, thank you. I'll try to hold it together, just being entertaining. Don't worry, Ben. We just want more P320 drama. We can do that too. P320 drama is always going to be there for us. I feel like it's always going to be fun. Man, it'll be interesting to watch like the next year, 18 months, maybe 2 years, just to see how a lot of that stuff unfolds. Oh, can't wait. Have you ever gotten to 5,000 rounds and thought you had a pretty good idea about a gun, but by the time you got to 10,000 rounds, changed your mind significantly? Um, yes and no. Like I would say, usually I have a pretty good idea, but there's definitely been things that I learn between 5 and 10,000 rounds, or things that get solidified. So, for example, when I was shooting the Staccato P, around that mark, maybe 4, 5, 6,000, something like that, around that mark on the gun, the slide stopped working, which was a little bit annoying, to be honest. And then I ended up sending the gun back to Staccato. That was really annoying. But then when I got the gun back from warranty service, like that, I mean, that was cool. It gave me pretty good insight into their warranty process. And to me, uh, I don't know, that experience that happened again later on in the process, I thought it was good that I had that experience. In other cases, like I can think, shooting PDPs, for example, which I don't think I talked about it on YouTube a bunch because this was a few years ago, but shooting those, I thought I would kind of get really comfortable with the recoil impulse on the gun. Now, the PDPs snap a little more, right? But when I've just shot the gun 3,000 rounds, it's like, I don't like the way this thing recoils compared to my other guns. But I'm gonna keep training with it, and maybe like I'll kind of get used to it, and I'll smooth out and all that. And that didn't really happen as the round count got higher. Like for example, so I think you learn more making it 10,000 rounds. That's a good number for me. 5,000 would be okay, but 10,000 does seem better. All right, Ben, you don't need 10,000 rounds for a review. If it takes you that long, you're not paying attention. LOL. Well, I'm a little bit slow. Every 5,000 is already a literal grocery cart of ammo and experience. Yes. That's 333 magazines full of ammo. You got to be able to give feedback after 333 magazines. Sure, I mean, I could give you feedback after one magazine. It's just not as good, I feel like. I mean, I'm not as solid as far as on all the little details. All right, just some quick math shows me you'd have to shoot around 300 rounds per day, taking weekends off just to put the rounds through those pistols you mentioned. Yeah, I mean that's not a heavy lift for me. 300, I typically don't shoot that little when I'm shooting. So like most days, I'm on a range teaching where I will have a gun with me and be shooting that gun. I can shoot other guns a little bit if I want. If I'm not teaching, I'm probably out practicing, in which case I'll have whatever gun I feel like and I'll practice with that. So yeah, 300 rounds a day is that's not a lot in my world. So that's okay. I'm curious what your review methodology looks like. So I go and I practice with the gun. That's what I do. How much time do you have to spend to do the reviews? What kind of shooting do you do for them? So I actually shoot properly. Like I want to shoot the best scores I can with that gun. If it's a gun I'm going to be spending a lot of time with, I have to make sure I have a belt rig dedicated for that gun. So yeah, I mean it takes time to get all of that stuff, put it together, dry fire with it, make sure that all the equipment's in the right spot and it's intuitive for me because all the models are a little bit different. And then I'm doing normal, like very dedicated practice sessions with that gun where I'm trying to shoot the best scores that I can shoot. So in your question you wrote, is it just mag dumping or precision on paper or steel targets, etc.? It's like, no, it's like whatever I would need to do to get better scores. It's not typically going to be mag dumping. It's not going to be just slow fire precision stuff either. It'll be like USPSA type of type of a look, like performance shooting. It seems like one hell of a workload just to shoot that many rounds per year, plus your professional shooting, teaching, etc. Yes. Or do you incorporate the review shooting into those other areas? Yes, I do. So it's like I don't go and just shoot for YouTube for the purposes of YouTube. Like that's not something I do. I'm going and shooting for my own purposes, and then I'll talk about it on YouTube. Um, there is stuff that I get out of shooting these different guns, like getting competent with different platforms and getting a little bit of experience with those guns. All right, let's keep going. Maybe reconsider the round count for your reviews. Maybe at 5K do your review and possibly at 10K do a second review for content. Well, I sort of do that and I kind of like update as I go. Or not at all. You don't have the desire to keep putting rounds through any particular platform. No, I like shooting. I'm going to keep shooting. Genuinely, you should expedite the review process where possible for the Atlas Titan. You said you have enough rounds through someone else's gun. Just review it now. Yeah, I'm pretty close on the Titan. If you get 5K plus rounds on one of the others and feel confident about your opinion, post the review. Just hit send. Yeah, okay. Oh, and don't shoot Glocks anymore. You can still tell us how you love the 47. It's the best ever, and I haven't shot one in 6 months. All right, well, the problem with that is I use the Glocks professionally a lot, so it's going to be very difficult to get them out of my hands. Like, it is very often the appropriate gun for me to be using, and I do use it. So it's like getting me away from the Glocks is not going to happen. Not all the time. All right, drop the round count before reviewing. Do like 1,000 rounds or just do the Athena. Okay. 1,000 rounds, like that doesn't seem like very many to get the opinion. All right, next comment. Just reduce the round count requirement to do a review. The reply, one of the replies on this were interesting. Nah, we're here because of the high round count reviews, aka real reviews. Yeah, I feel like that's what I feel like people like. Nah, son, we gotta delay gratification, the sign of an advanced society. Round count is way too high for a review. Why can't you get a good feel for a gun at a few hundred rounds? I'm not good enough, honestly. I'm not good enough at the whole thing. All right, let's do lower your round count to 2,000 from 10,000. Easy fix. Nah, people don't like it. All right, let's do one more comment here. So my takeaway should be that you, a professional shooter and teacher, is also providing us solid free information that meets a certain standard, doesn't have the ability that no human has to put 10,000 rounds per gun through more guns than I own. It's like, well, if you put it that way, it makes me sound pretty cool. Yeah, you're a massive jerk. Do better. I'd rather have a review that meets your standard than something rushed. Well, to me, I've been shooting enough. I know that I'll have an opinion a little bit, and then sometimes the opinion shifts as I get more experience. So I'm always open for that experience. Let me put it that way. Well, we'll leave it there, guys. Um, I'll get back on the reviews soon. I think that the Atlas Titan review will be coming pretty soon, and then more to follow after that.